Hi everyone, Fleethany Bass Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Red Hot Chili Peppers album, Return of the Dream Canteen. This is a brand new LP from legendary alternative and funk rock outfit, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Their second LP this year, following the Fat Unlimited Love that came out just this past April. And if you thought Dream Canteen was going to be just a sparse collection of leftovers from that record, my friend, you would be wrong, because this thing is another heaping helping of 17 tracks that spans 75 minutes. But nearly everything in the lead up to this record had me worried about its quality, because yes, again, it comes just on the heels of another very large project from the band. This album also has the goofiest title of any Red Hot Chili Peppers LP thus far, hands down. And the debut single, Tip of My Tongue, is maybe the most difficult to take seriously on the entire record, mostly because of Anthony Kiedis' more nonsensical than usual lyrics here, which include highlights like, well, I'm an animal, something like a cannibal, I'm very flammable and partially programmable, I'm at the pyramids, never had a fear of kids, wah, 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 wah. The whole thing just reads like drugs and bad innuendo, which might have been cool when you were high out of your mind at the fest in 1996, kicking the hacky sack with your homies, but it's 2022. Can we just kind of transition out of this state of arrested development or something? Look, there was just a lot of reasons that my expectations for Dream Canteen weren't particularly high, especially since it feels like the Peps have not had a whole lot to prove on many of their recent LPs, which I get it, they truly don't. The band has come out with so many hits and popular records over the years, but as long as they're going to continue releasing music, it would be nice for the band to take a risk or push a boundary or, you know, put a little bit more Red Hot Chili pep in their step. I was even shocked to hear much of Unlimited Love sound as mild as it did, especially since the return of John Frusciante on guitar was supposed to be this huge X factor in this leg of the band's career. But it seems like maybe that LP was just the band booting up for something bolder, because Return of the Dream Canteen, which I shudder every single time I say that title in full. Yeah, this album is easily the most fun I've had listening to a Peppers record in years. Because quickly after Tip of My Tongue, the band does start dishing out some serious highlights. There's Peace and Love, whose rhythm guitars, bass, and drums are about as smooth and funky as it gets. There's a head-bobbing hypnosis to this track I love, and the song quickly slides into one of the most catchy and melodious choruses I think the band has put out in years. I've got peace and love for you right now. The track is simple and sweet with some tasteful guitar work that actually makes me excited to hear Frusciante back in the mix. I am even happier to hear this man on the song Eddie, which I truly think is one of the best Peppers songs ever. Not only does the track progressively build up this fantastic intensity from start to finish, but the song also features some amazing guitar solo passages, and it's also a heartfelt tribute to the late Eddie Van Halen. A very moving one at that too, way more focused and lyrically detailed than you typically expect from a writer like Kiedis, who's typically coming off as if he's just off in his own world. Fake as Fuck makes for a pretty interesting change of pace too, with a very regal chord progression on the intro. The grooves on this one are much more poised than you typically expect something to be on a Pepper song, but then this contrasts very nicely with these fast funk passages that really let loose. Some trumpets come in on the back end to turn up the heat, showing the band truly embracing their funk roots. Then this heavy psych outro with Anthony Kiedis' vocals soaked in delay. What the hell is going on? Is this even the same song? But yeah, this moment on the record is seriously wild and illustrates a conscious effort to make an LP or an experience overall that's consciously a bit more trippy, which you can also hear all over the fuzzy and thick riffs on the song Reach Out. Not one of my favorite songs here, but at least it's trying something. I also like the song Bella, where Kiedis can't help but get a little goofy again. He is seemingly a man that's been born with a lot of passion, a lot of desire, a lot of lust and infatuation, but he has not been blessed with the prose to put it eloquently, as he paints a picture of a woman who wants to live in LA while he wants to drag her out into the sticks where his farm is at. I love her, I need her, Can't stop until I feed her. I want her so badly. Hell no, my name ain't Bradley. It's so goddamn zany, but somehow the track ends up being so catchy that it's not so much of a factor, I guess. However, from here we move into a midsection on the record, which for whatever reason sees the band's performances and ideas getting a lot milder. Roulette's inoffensive afternoon drive grooves and forgettable chorus see it kind of going by without much of a fuss. Then My Cigarette completely rips away some of the most baseline appeals of the Red Hot Chili Peppers by not only burying Frusciante's guitars and not giving them all that much presence, but we opt for some sequenced drums on this thing as opposed to one of the best drummers in mainstream rock. His name is Chad Smith, and he's literally right there. Overall, this track sounds like a bad Gorillaz demo with Anthony Kiedis kind of, sing rapping over it. And with this chorus of my cigarette, I don't know what Kiedis was trying to channel on this one, but I think he got left on red. The song Afterlife has a pretty strong start, but I don't really know so much about the scatting during the instrumental midsection of the track. I mean, maybe it could have gone over well if Kiedis had the jazz background to pull this sort of thing off with some finesse, but it just sounds like a worse Spin Doctors. However, this track is still one of the better and more rockin' songs on the LP if you completely disregard that part. I don't think the band really finds their footing again in any significant way until the last third of the LP, where we have The Drummer, which is one of the tensest and most addictive songs on the record for me. The quick chord changes and aggressive bass and drumming make this one a highlight that feels on edge. Kiedis' vocals on this track are absolutely nuts. Stay awake! Fall asleep! Like, is he okay? Is he full of fear? The track also flawlessly morphs into these lovely harmonious hooks that sweeten the deal quite a bit. Very smart contrast from the anxious verses. I like the psych grunge fusion going on in the following track as well. It kind of feels like Reach Out, but done a little bit less obnoxiously. Meanwhile, La 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 sees the band laying the synths on very heavy once more, but this time with a dreamier and more ambient approach, some sax in the background too, which is fair, makes for a kind of meditative oasis in the midst of the LP. But if only Anthony Kiedis' lyrics didn't violently rip me out of that vibe with super tacky references to Happy Meals and Cheech and Chong. COPPERBELLY sees the band once more playing with these very refined grooves, this time in 3/4. The chords have almost a Baroque flavor to them and switch off into these very heavy, explosive psych rock chords. I especially love this section where Flea starts jamming on like these popped bass intervals. Frusciante is bringing absolute guitar mayhem on top of that. This is one of many numerous moments on the LP where the band is like really jamming, letting loose. I wish there was actually more of this to be had on Canteen, honestly. Carry Me Home is a very melodic pop rock cut that I think some of the jam band fans will be into because the guitars kind of have that flavor to them. But the Red Hot Chili Peppers truly save the zaniest moment for last on the closer, which features not only more stiff and awful drum machine beats, but multiple moments from Anthony Kiedis where he is just doing this weird-ass spoken word shit. High-waisted she tasted like a salacious confrontation salvation from the salivating demarcation of Colombian incarnation of the patron saint of palelation. Bro, what do you think, you're Captain Beefheart? Or some shit? No, this is not working. This is not functioning. I thought we were living in a calitocracy, but clearly this is a caligarchy. Look, there's a lot here on this LP, and it doesn't all necessarily connect together in a cohesive way, which was also kind of a problem on Unlimited Love. This thing is far from perfect. It is bloated, sometimes a bit too chaotic in its variation, but I will say this. At the very least, it wasn't boring. And truly, I think there is a much better album in the muck here if you were to eliminate a lot of the very mild tracks around the midsection and a handful of songs that see the band attempting a similar idea twice, but they had done it better elsewhere on the record. But as is, even with all of its flaws, I think this record is decent and, pretty sweet. Feeling a light to decent 6 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head, it's another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dream Canteen forever.